Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's episode of the Reboot Era. If you would have asked me a week and a half ago how things are going, I honestly would have said, I think I have it all figured out. The career ladder, the title, the plan, debt payment, and then I got laid off. And suddenly, none of that felt real anymore. Before we hop into the discussion that I have today's episode, I'm going to do my recap first. Let's see, looking at what I have. As of today, on day 8, I have added 5 new applications. I did not receive any rejections today, which was lovely. So the applications that are currently under review is 43 total. A win for today, I would say a win this week. Just all of the great networking that I've been doing, both in my DMs and all the coffee chats that I've had with some really amazing alumni who I've honestly missed talking to over the years. Some new friends of friends. It's always great meeting new people. And what I'm going to work on next week and take with me moving forward is really, I have some new content that I'm really excited to spin up, and I'm excited to talk about alternative income streams rather than just full-time opportunities. So let's hop into what we're going to talk about. I want to use today as the first day of week 2 in this layoff journey to talk about a reflection point. Work really doesn't define who I am, but it definitely shaped me. And I think a lot of people might feel similarly. A lot of my identity in this, I took a lot of time today to reflect. So a lot of my identity I felt was wrapped up and tied to my job. Again, a week and a half ago, had you asked me if I was excited and things that I'm working on, I would have said, same shit, different day. And had you asked the second time, I would have opened up and said, I'm so excited about working on this new project. It's going to be this amazing platform, blah, blah, blah. I can't say exactly what it was because of where I was working, but I was excited to talk about the work that I was doing. Who I was when I met people at the bar or at the park with my dogs, it came up. I'm a cybersecurity professional. I'm a program manager expert who's working in this great company. And then I would talk about the other stuff. But people knew where I worked, they knew what I did, and I was passionate about it. There was a sense of pride that was felt in the work that I was doing, my performance reviews, which happened quarterly or annually, to know what my peers and managers were saying about me and my performance and the impact that I had at the company was amazing, both there and even historically. And when I think back 4 or 5 years ago at different companies I was working at, those experiences really shape a person's mindset, and they can make I guess, the habits that you have define what those are and even the confidence that you get. And the way that I like to think about this, or the way I've been thinking about it today, is I look at the world and any problem that I come across with how would I solve that? Let me let me make a roadmap for how I'm going to solve this problem. And the habits that I have is at the end of the day, I like to recap things. I start journaling and I like to make sure I touch base with my managers and my peers. Let me touch base with my personal network too, my friends and my family. And that confidence, imposter syndrome is really real when you start at a company. And sometimes it comes into like little bursts at different times of the company or a job that you're working at. My confidence was very high. A week and a half ago, I wasn't worried about getting laid off. I wasn't worried about getting fired. I wasn't worried about my performance. But now it leaves you questioning a lot of that. And my confidence was really high, and now it's back and forth. It depends on the minute of the day, if you ask me. I definitely don't want to be defined by my job, but it's hard not to when so much of life is really structured around what what we do, the job that we do. A quote that I wrote down was that my calendar revolved around meetings. My self-worth was tied to productivity. I didn't realize how much of me was built around work until it disappeared. And I hope that everyone can take a little space to think about that and how it applies to you. But my calendar went from being pretty full, meeting intensive, to completely empty. and giving me this time to wonder what's next and figure out what steps I'm going to take. I thought I knew what I wanted, and then I got laid off. I sh I think that before, even think back 6 months ago, I had security. I was happy with the status that I was at. If I looked at my title, I was looking at how much money I was making. I wouldn't go as far as saying I was working my dream job, but I would say that I was on the steps that I wanted to take to get to what was going to be my dream job. And when you get laid off, there's this kind of whiplash of, man, like, what did I do to deserve that? Is this really the career that's made for me? And your sense of direction it's just, it veers, it changes. What you thought you could see your North Star, it's cloudy. And now maybe you can't as well. Not to mention the control. I'm much more type A than type B, and I do like to have control over the things that I can control. And I genuinely thought before this layoff that I could control my career. A lot of people associate a layoff with a bad performance or not being good at your job. And at least in the circumstance with the company that I was part of, it had nothing to do with that. And you can see that from the recommendations that I've been getting on LinkedIn and the plethora of other recommendations my peers who also were laid off are getting on LinkedIn about how high of a performer they were that I was. It takes a toll on you because it's mixed signals. I got laid off, but yet all these people are saying such amazing things about me. Talk about imposter syndrome. You start to question everything. Did it bring is this bringing me any more clarity, or is it just bringing a lot of chaos to my life? Some days are really great and I feel like I'm making great strides to move forward, and other days, like today, it's just a lot of reflection. I've called a lot of people today. I've texted a lot of my network and just checked in. Getting laid off really stripped away the illusion of control. And honestly, it made a lot of space for the questions that maybe I've been avoiding. I think when you have such a defined path in life that in your head of I'm going to do these things, and if I do all these things, here's the output, you miss the journey a lot of the time and you just get to the destination and you avoid the other questions, the other things in life that you didn't hold space for. But with all of that, I think there's there's a space, a time to reflect on what you're learning or what you're rebuilding. And so the last 8 days have been a roller coaster and a half. I've slept more, but I am not going to the gym as much. I don't set an alarm every single day, but I wake up at 7:30 in the morning every day. The goals that I had a week and a half ago are completely different than the goals that I have right now. And I wanted to climb that corporate ladder. And now I want to help as many people as possible, so many people. I want to just I'm not even worried about making money right now. Sure, I'm applying to jobs, but I know that this job process is going to take for a while. So I really just want to help so many people who are going through the same thing. 6,000 people were just laid off from Microsoft. They're all in the same boat. Some people have done this before and gone through layoffs. Some people have no idea what to do and they're shattered and they're taking some time to just reflect and figure out what's next. And I was there a week ago. I'm there today. Success in my eyes, I think success was largely defined by the amount of money I made, the title that I had, and really what I was working on to make a difference at the company I was at and potentially in the world of the industry I was working in. And today, success is, for me, one very small metric. It's did I help one person? Did I make something for one person that would allow them to be a step ahead of where they were yesterday? Did I inspire somebody? Did I make my dog's tail wag a little bit longer than normal? It's those small things. And I think the really big piece is that before I was chasing status and finance, and now I'm chasing happiness and chasing not just being content, but actually being authentically happy and bringing my most authentic self not to work, but to my life every single day. This pause is really teaching me more than any promotion I think ever did in life, more than any course I took in university or anything, any course I've ever taken in life. So this one it's short. It's about reflection. I hope that you take the time to reflect. I hope you reach out to your network and ask these questions, have these vulnerable conversations with people. If you've been laid off or you're questioning anything or everything, just know that you're not alone. There are a vast majority of people out there who have either gone through this or are currently going through it. If any of this resonates with you or you're stuck and you're asking yourself questions, journal it. If you want to talk and you don't feel like you have anyone, and maybe you don't have anyone who gets it, but you want to talk to somebody who could or would, I'm here. So just know that. Come share your story with me. If you want me to share it, I'm happy to. If you don't want me to share, I'm also happy to keep it between the two of us. We're all rebooting in different ways. And this is how I chose to reboot mine. So I think I'm going to leave it there. I hope you guys continue to join along for my journey. If you're not watching this for you, I hope you share this with somebody who can gain insight and gain confidence from watching this. Yeah, please subscribe, share if this is helpful for you or anyone. I can continue to make these types of videos. I also want to continue to pivot and share the other videos, but have a good Friday when you see this or whenever you see this. Just keep moving. You got this. And let's go be gainfully employed sometime soon. Thanks, everyone. I'm logging off for now.